from England, Maxi Hughes.
Very popular fighter in the UK, Maxi Hughes, and over the course of his career, particularly the last few years, has shown everybody just what a good fighter he is as well. He looked like he was destined to be a nearly man. He was boxing for titles, he wasn't quite getting there. Defeats against Sam Bowen, against Liam Walsh, against Martin J. Ward, but things turned around in COVID. He took a fight against John O'Carroll, who'd just beaten Scott Quigg, and he won. And he kicked on from there. He won the British title against Paul Hyland, he won the IBO title against Giovanni Straffon, other good wins against Ryan Walsh and Kid Galahad, unlucky to lose on points against George Kambosos. I think anyone who watched it could agree on that. And his last fight, a good win against Archie Sharp. He's come in with confidence.
Fighting out of the gold corner, making his way to the ring from Tajikistan, Bakhodur Usmonov.
Well, Usmonov is somebody we've seen in the amateurs quite a bit. He was at the Paris Olympics last year, but went out in the prelims, the bronze at the World Championships in 2023, his boxing Asian Championships as well, where he medalled, got to Tokyo also. So a double Olympian, 11-0 as a professional. He's been moved well up until this point, but this is a pretty big step up for him, I think, don't you? Because Hughes has mixed at really good level and had wins. We know how good he is. Do we know how good Usmonov is?
That's a very good question. We know the pedigree he brings, as your testimony there just illustrated. A two-time Olympian, World Championship medalist. He's one of the very best in the world in the 3-round format of IBA tournament boxing, and he's been outstanding on the IBA.PRO series, particularly in Dushanbe in Tajikistan.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is our co-main event of the evening. 12 3-minute rounds in the lightweight division, and it is an eliminator for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Our three judges scoring this bout at ringside. From the United States, Rafael Ramos. From Panama, Guillermo Perez-Pineda. And from the United States, Glenn Feldman. And our referee in charge when the bell rings, from Italy, Giuseppe Quartaroni. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the fighters first. Fighting out of the black corner, wearing the white trunks, he weighed in at 61.1 kilos. Tonight, he enters the ring with a professional record of 29 victories, opposite 7 defeats and 2 draws, with 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of South Yorkshire, England, introducing the former British and IBO lightweight champion and the current reigning WBC silver lightweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, Maxi Maximus Hughes. And now his opponent, standing across the ring, fighting out of the gold corner, wearing the blue trunks with silver trim. He stands 5 feet 8½ inches tall. He weighed in at 61 kilos. Tonight, he enters the ring undefeated as a professional. 11 fights, 11 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Bakhodur Usmonov.
Usmanov, you know the rule. Remember what I told you in the dressing room. I want a clean fight. Good luck.
So referee Giuseppe Quartaroni, who I remember, I think, taking charge of Anthony Joshua against Joseph Parker a good few years ago now, when Joshua claimed that WBO title to become a 3-belt unified champion. So here we go, they're scheduled for 12. An eliminator in the lightweight division, Bakhodur Usmonov in the silver and blue, Maxi Hughes in the white, and a southpaw in Hughes against an orthodox fighter in Usmonov with that Tajikistan flag on his shorts. shaping that knee. Maxi Hughes just on the outside. They both are at the moment. Just having a look. Lands the left hand to the body there, Hughes, and again just closes in. Looking for that left hand over the top. Well set up, Hughes, good technique. Left hand again there, single left hand. I'm not sure that landed absolutely clean. Usmonov just seeing if he can do something with that jab early on here. Gauge that range himself. He keeps that head on the move, whether it's side to side, Hughes, or up and down. Just adjusting that height. The left hand into the body, and again there. He's just scoring punches. Usmonov, though, is just trying to inch closer. Just shaping there, Usmonov. He's not close enough really to throw there. Throws the right hand anyway. It was well short. Looking for that left hand counter there, Hughes. Maybe just landed on the shoulder. He's not throwing that much here, Usmonov, but it's quite aggressive, this, because he's creeping in with that front foot. He's looking to try and take that space and put Hughes under pressure. Hughes described Usmonov at the press conference as chinny, and the man from Tajikistan had to have that translated. He didn't think much of it. I think he found it quite amusing, actually, into the final minute of round one. Hughes is trying to get onto that jab. It's not really been a feeling out round. There's been more going on than that. He looks to try and whip the uppercut up the centre there, Hughes, and he was just short with it. Again, just shaping for that right hand, Usmonov, but he knew that it wasn't quite there, so just pulled it. Just stoops for a jab to the body there, Usmonov. Left hand from Hughes, who's landed the greater volume of scoring punches in this opening round. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The referee just jumping in. A quick chat about heads. Interesting opening round, that, because Maxi Hughes keeping tight, keeping compact, did land some decent shots. He outlanded his man, but Usmonov is kind of bristly with intent, I thought, there.
Indeed, he's applying pressure right on the edge of range as we take a close look at Denis Lebedev, Russian boxing star. But Usmonov, as you say, always threatening. But I thought Maxi Hughes boxed really well in a manner that he was able to break any potential deadlocks and stare downs with a burst of activity, operating effectively out of that southpaw stand, showing good variety in his work. And as you said, I think he landed the greater number of scoring punches. I'm not suggesting that Usmonov is prepared to concede rounds, but I think that it was a sharp start from Maxi Hughes. He found his range with pretty good consistency in the first 3 minutes.
Usmonov was having a really good look there for some openings, and he just couldn't really find any. And I mentioned a couple of times he was looking for that right, but it just wasn't on. Good left hand there from Hughes, and Usmonov immediately at the start of the second has come out with a bit more urgency here. What you don't want is a fighter like Maxi Hughes to get into some kind of a rhythm. He's looking to get on top of him here, Usmonov. And just swinging with a left and a right there, Maxi Hughes, and Usmonov dipping under those comfortably enough, but you could just sense from Usmonov as soon as the bell went, he just wanted to try and inject a bit more pace, a bit more vitality into what he's doing. And now things have just settled down a bit again. Right hand into the body there from Usmonov. Left hand into the body there, again from Hughes, just pinned his man, put him back on his heels just slightly as he was looking to move in.
He'll come, Max, he'll come. That's it, nice and level. Don't stand up, Max, lead him up. Don't reach, don't be greedy.
Usmonov just tucking up behind that shoulder. And again, just trying to put the pressure on here. Getting onto the inside, wanting to let his hands go, quickly gathering those feet and just moving back towards his opponent. Hughes, though, moving well.
Yes!
Left hand into the body, midway through the round.
Let's slip, Max, up, let's slip. Lead hand up, lead hand up. No reach, Max. Lead hand up.
Left to the body there again from Hughes. Jab lands from Usmonov.
Lead hand up, respond. Yes! Jump!
Into the final minute of the round. Uppercut.
Lead hand up.
Didn't quite land.
Let's slip, Max, up, let's slip.
He's getting some work done here, Hughes, but also proving to be an elusive target for Usmonov, who's thrown more in this second round, but again has found it difficult to get a hold of his opponent. That's a good jab there from Usmonov, but immediately answered back.
Shit! That's it, be a move up at life and slip. Yes!
Left hand into the body from Hughes, and again just stabbing down with that one. That's good punch picking. May have caught a right hand as he moved off to his right hand side there. Usmonov just trying to let go with a couple of uppercuts, and he's working hard here, the fighter from Tajikistan, to try and find some openings, but at the minute Maxi Hughes is just presenting quite a difficult task for him.
I think Maxi Hughes is boxing very smartly indeed. Bakhodur Usmonov coming out and trying to pick up the pace and the tempo. He's getting busier with his jab. But outside of the jab, he's not really seeking, at least from my perspective here ringside, not really seeking to put much onto his punches. And in the meantime, Maxi Hughes, he was being inconvenienced by the flurries of jabs that were coming in at times, but he kept his shape, kept his composure, and always looked to respond. So busier lead left from Usmonov, but perhaps greater variety and greater volume from Maxi Hughes. But one suspects that Usmonov will seek to pick it up further. What he is doing is applying constant pressure with his presence and with his feet, and keeping Maxi Hughes concentrating all the time, and that can be really impactful in terms of draining energy levels. But Maxi Hughes, an experienced, hardened pro, and he's competing and acquitting himself very well here in Dubai.
And that's exactly it. Usmonov is making him work here, but he's not making him work. He's making him work respectably hard, isn't he? He's not having to dig deep here or anything like that, Maxi Hughes. And you say he's won those first two rounds because he's landed the greater volume of cleaner shots. Usmonov is looking for a way in still. Throws a hook from well out of range. And there's that left hand to the body again as he comes forward. Just catches a right hand there, Hughes. That one got through on him. And then commits to the left hand. The back leg came forward around a little bit, and the pair of them end up on the canvas. A little bit of a tumble.
Keep him guessing. He'll come back to long shin. Long shin. Respond to that. Hey!
Single left hand there from Hughes. Looking for the uppercut there, Usmonov. I think he did land that one, but then a cutting right hand from Hughes just allows himself to step off to the right hand side. There's another good right hand from Hughes. Usmonov with that wide stance. He's got that base to punch from, but he's maybe just not really busy enough at the minute. He's being outworked here by Hughes. Hughes has got the greater movement. You see him, that head is always on the move. He's dipping those knees. That left hand got through again there. Through the left hand there, it didn't land, but he moved straight onto the shoulder of Usmonov. The head's not far away from coming together into the final minute of round 3. And again, he's looking for the uppercut there, Usmonov. I couldn't quite see if that landed. The lead left hand did. Just caught another left hand on the way in there, Hughes.
Keep him guessing, Max. Keep him guessing. Have a response.
Combination landing again there for Usmonov. Let's go with the uppercut there, Hughes.
Keep him guessing, lead out. Yes!
Digging in and finding a left to the body there, Hughes, but Usmonov just beginning to get through a bit more towards the end of the round here. Into the final 30 seconds.
Have you ready, Maxi? Stands up. Watch him stand up. Hey!
Left to the body was well timed there from Hughes. Heads almost coming together again there as he came forward, Hughes, and Usmonov, I think, has in this final minute of the round probably had most of the success that he's had in the fight so far. Some good little spells for him there, but in the end Hughes replied quite well too.
I think that was a fascinating round because to me there was a concerted effort by Bakhodur Usmonov to try and pick it up further, and he had success with Maxi Hughes in his own corner, the black corner right above our commentary position. And what did Maxi Hughes do? He responded, spun out of the corner and landed two really good right hooks in short succession around around the attempted increased offensive output of Bakhodur Usmonov. And Usmonov did have more success, but Maxi Hughes went with him. And in portions of the round, in the space of the ring, Hughes was digging good body shots underneath. And again, Usmonov, he's no stranger to competitive professional bouts, but he knows that he's in a fight tonight, against a man who's always answering back against his successors. So he's being made to work here, Usmonov, and he's going to have to pick it up further, because Maxi Hughes, for my money, is boxing very well indeed through 3 completed rounds.
Well, it's a long time, 12 rounds. Everybody knows that. Maxi Hughes has done the distance plenty of times. Usmonov has done it over 10, but yet to be tested over that full 12-round distance. And we're just at the start of the 4th here.
That's it. Lead on now. Are we ready, Max? Are we ready? That's better.
Good jab landed there from Hughes.
Yeah, that's the one. Keep that centre. Respond. That's it. Stands up, Max. Round.
Left into the body there from Hughes, and Usmonov still just trying to plant that front foot, get on top of his man and just search for an opening, really, an opportunity to let his hands go. He doesn't want to be too reckless here, Usmonov. You can see that. He's a disciplined fighter. Left hand into the chest there. But I wonder if he's just waiting a little bit too long. And whether he's just going to need to try and force this a bit more to try and change the play a touch here, because Hughes, if he's given the opportunity, he's happy to throw. He throws that lead hook there, for example, follows it in, and although he missed it, didn't get him into any trouble. And the corner repeatedly reminding him just to keep that lead hand up, get that guard up.
That's the one. Well, then lock you down, Max. I'll be ready for him.
Left hand landed there from Usmonov as he was moving in there. Hughes, the feet just crossed a little bit. Usmonov with a decent combination, then just stepped off when he could have stayed in and let his hands go again there. Heads coming together on the inside a little bit there. But that was an opportunity for Usmonov after he landed a combination just to stay where he was and go again. And that's what he needs to do. Launches a big single left hand there, Hughes. Again, Usmonov with a left to the body, left to the head. Lovely left hand there from Hughes from the outside, and you can see that the head of Usmonov just snapped back there, and he's picking good punches here, Hughes, through 4 rounds. Usmonov is making him work, but this is a good display so far. There's a left hand into the body there from Usmonov. Final 10 seconds of the round, they're just swapping punches on this near side of the ring. And there goes the bell, and again, you know, this continues to be very interesting. Do you feel like there's a kind of vibe from Usmonov whereby he's not just assuming that at some point that Hughes is going to slow down, but I think there's just a bit of that there with him. He's applying the pressure, but I think he needs to do more than he's doing.
Well, I think he tried to do exactly that at around the 50 seconds to go mark in the round. It was that portion you said where you pointed out that he came and then stepped off and looked to go again. But then Maxi Hughes, to his credit, answered once more. And so when he is trying to raise it and stick it on, Maxi Hughes would be overstating it. But when he is trying to pick it up, he's finding that Maxi Hughes is going with him. And Maxi Hughes, prior to that good passage of the round that Usmonov enjoyed, he's keeping his movement really nicely. The movement with the head, the movement with the feet. He's a constantly shifting target in front of Usmonov, and so he's not really able to plant those feet and come with a 2 or 3 phase attack. I think it's been very smart boxing by Maxi Hughes, but Usmonov is enjoying increased pockets of success. But Maxi Hughes' movement has been notably impressive through the first 4 completed rounds.
And he's landed the better shots. I think in every round we've watched so far, I don't think there's too much debate about that, to be honest. Usmonov is on the front foot, and some judges do like that, but what you're looking for is what lands. And the work that he's done, a lot of it, it's been singles from the outside at times, and those are nice and easy to see. He had a few offers on the table, Maxi Hughes, but this was the one they decided to take. Again, just works your way to the body there. Left to the body, and then just as he was pulling out, Usmonov landed a right on the head of Hughes. Well, the referee had just about got in to separate the pair of them there when Usmonov just landed a little poke of a punch, nothing serious. And Usmonov just shouldering Hughes off there as he came forward looking to try and get into a clinch, and Usmonov tucks up well behind that shoulder. He's got good balance to him, decent rhythm to him, but again now I feel like he's just waiting maybe a little bit too long. When Hughes gets an opportunity, he's happy to punch. Putting the left hand into the body there, Hughes, into the final minute of round 5. Lead hand there for Hughes, lands a couple of times. And again, good lead right hand. Usmonov was just trying to close in there, and that just caused him to lose his shape a little bit.
Stop.
30 seconds remaining in the round. Usmonov just lands an uppercut on the inside, followed by the left hand. Final few seconds of the round. Short combination on the inside there from Usmonov. There goes the bell, and 5 rounds in, these 5 rounds have all been pretty similar, and I don't think this is a difficult fight to score.
I would agree with you. Usmonov is trying to increase his punch output. He's trying to get busier, but Maxi Hughes is going with him, and we're right next to Maxi Hughes' corner. That's where our commentary position is, and his corner man is yelling out in really clear, succinct instructions, let's have a response. And every time Usmonov enjoys success, well, it ends up being something like this. So it's a trade-off, and then who gets the better of the trade-off? And oftentimes you'll see an eye-catching lead right hand such as that, or good work down to the body. So it's been terrific work by Maxi Hughes. He's carrying out the instructions, and he's keeping his composure in against a skilled operator. And Usmonov has got to try and do something different and more significant here to try and turn the balance of these exchanges in his favor, because from my perspective, they're favoring Maxi Hughes right now.
And what this is now as well is a real test of Usmanov's nerve and composure, because he's not been in this position in a fight before in his career. Let's just assume that he's down here, and I don't see how he couldn't be. He's going to have to come from behind here, so he's going to have to keep his composure, he's going to have to stick to the game plan, but he's going to have to try and change things as well. He's got to make things happen here. If he just continues to do the same things, Usmanov, then as we've seen, that is not necessarily going to work. He would need Hughes to run out of gas. To keep going the way that he's going, he would need Maxi Hughes to fall apart in the second half of the fight, basically. But this is better from Usmanov. It's just up to the gear there, I think. Trying to get those hands on the move a little bit quicker. Give Hughes more to think about. Lead uppercut was a good shot. And then lets a couple go on the inside. It's just quite simply a high punch output now, taking it in closer, tucking up behind that shoulder. Walked onto a left hand there though, Hughes is. He's looking to let his own hands go, and still moving that head, Hughes. Usmanov just dipping a little bit lower at the waist himself. The left hand might have been slightly low, but there was no complaint there from Usmanov. Good left hand there from Usmanov, and again, and he's having more success in this round, just past the halfway stage. And the pressure is just more significant. I think it's as simple as he's got closer. I think that front foot is closer, and he's able to lead off with a left hand to the body there. He was a little bit further on the outside the first 5 rounds, having a look, looking to find those gaps. And now he's getting onto the inside and forcing the issue, which he had to do, into the final minute of round 6. And this is good from Usmanov. He's starting to find the target in this round, and he's making a little bit of a dent here, you feel. There's that right hand again from Usmanov. Good volume from him this round, good accuracy. And for the first time, I wouldn't say he's driving Hughes around the ring, but Hughes has looked fine boxing on the back foot, but he's just beginning to manoeuvre him a little bit here, Usmanov. He's having to dig in here, Hughes, and you can see the effort on his face, and the effort required now to keep Usmanov off him is more significant than it's been in the first 5 rounds. That's a good round for Usmanov, and he needed it.
Most certainly, and I think he timed it to perfection, because he picked up the tempo, he increased the pressure, he got closer, and he began to sit down on his shots. And with 50 seconds remaining in the round, he scored downstairs, and it brought about a response from Maxi Hughes, who got onto the back foot and looked to disengage rather than spin around the target, which he'd been doing to such good effect through the rounds. And then there was another left hand over by the neutral corner to the left of our commentary position that we just saw there. Very good work to the body. Usmonov with his best round of the contest from my perspective here. And is it as simple for the man in his first 12-round contest is that he's looking to take him into deep waters against an experienced 12-round championship fighter, but he feels that he's going to be the stronger man in the second half, because at the halfway stage, with 6 rounds completed and a scheduled 6 rounds potentially to remain, Usmonov enjoying his best round of the contest so far, and significantly he had real success to the body.
So into the second half, start of round 7, and at the start of the previous round we were saying that this is kind of uncharted territory for him, because he's going to have to go out and do something about this. He needs to turn it around. He's going to have to come from behind, and he did change things in that 7th round, and Hughes just trying to step to him a little bit at the start of the 7th, because he'll know that the dynamic shifted there. Fighters feel it more keenly than anybody else. Good combination there from Usmanov, and again he's gone down to the body early, finds that uppercut on the inside.
That's the one. Lean out, Max. Shake, Max, shake. Don't be pushed back, Max.
Neat combination again there from Usmonov. Just flexes the knees. I think those feet of Hughes have just slowed down a little bit. Leans in, tries to get a hold of Usmonov, who shrugs him off. Looks at the body there, Usmonov. Hughes is trying to punch his way off the ropes, but Usmonov is just straight back on him here.
Hold your feet, Max.
Just stepping away to the right-hand side, following the instruction of the trainer, just sat on the steps immediately to my right. Just using that lead hand there, Usmonov. Hughes just having a couple of swings off the back foot, just trying to dip at the waist on the inside. But the problem is that Usmonov, who just stopped paying attention completely there as he tried to just get rid of a nostril full. It's the final minute of round 7. Good jab there from Usmonov. And he's dictating terms in this 7th round again.
Keep that jab stiff and level. Shake, Max, take your shake.
He's working hard here, Hughes. Usmonov, though, of the two, you have to say, does look the fresher. With 5 rounds remaining, just shuffling in with the feet there. Usmonov lands a left hook. 30 seconds in round 7. That's good, sharp, accurate work there from Usmonov. A left hand gets back there from Hughes. Just ditching these punches in. But there's not quite the smoothness about them that there was before. Usmonov again just lands the right hand. Good juddering jab there from Usmonov, and looks to just send in that right hand towards the end of the round. And he's turned this, Usmonov, hasn't he? There's no question.
He most certainly has, and the tide began to turn in round number 6 with the body shot, and he kept that momentum that he established and built upon it in round number 7. Just a little bit of the pep going out of the movements and the punches of Maxi Hughes. He's still in there competing. He's trying to keep his shape, but when Usmonov drops down to the body, he has a visible impact on the shape that Maxi Hughes can adopt. He's bent over at the waist. He becomes a little looser defensively, and this with around minute 7 to go. Lack of concentration as he tried to clear his nostrils. Maxi Hughes well within his rights, jumping on him for a good success in that round, but I think the majority of success came from Usmonov, who has picked it up and has begun to really put something onto his punches now. And again, the body punches seemingly paying dividends, the investment that he's making downstairs. Very good boxing from Bakhodur Usmonov, who has turned things around since that 6th round halfway stage.
So 5 rounds to go here, and this is the thing about 12-round fights. You have to find a way to plot your way through. I felt like he established a handy lead, Maxi Hughes, and he was being made to put the work in those early rounds. Maybe he was being made to work a bit harder than we realised here from ringside, but there was good economy about him. His shape was good, but Usmonov now is again just not quite rolling in on him, but he's just shortened up those punches. He made that move 2 rounds ago where he just took his feet closer and looked to really try and get on top of his opponent. And he's going to have to really dig deep here, Maxi Hughes. He might need a bit of a second win in the second half here at some point, but that is what happens during the course of a 12-rounder. And let's remember, he's done this plenty of times. Usmonov just knocks him onto his heels with the jab, more of a loss of balance there than anything else. Left hand comes back from Hughes, but there is a slightly laboured look to those punches now.
Lead out, Max! Yobi walks back! Yobi walks back!
Nice combination on the inside again there from Usmonov. Hughes is ditching that right hand off the back foot. Just gets clipped a couple of times, and the left hand was definitely low. The referee wasn't in a position to see it. And Usmonov now just bouncing ahead of Hughes around a little bit there with the combination, and the accuracy as well is so impressive here.
Shit, Max, shit! Nice and level!
Left to the body there from Hughes. That's better. Good lead hand though from Usmonov. Straight away again. And there's the combination, these thudding combinations. The quick hands of Usmonov, the sharp hands. Left hand to the body, then goes up to the head with the right hand. Final 30 seconds of the round. He does provide a response with the left, but then the right immediately got through from Usmonov. Chopping left from Hughes was a good shot, but then the jab lands and the right hand from Usmonov. Good combination again there from Usmonov. And there goes the bell, and Hughes is digging in. He's holding his boxing together, he's holding his shape together. What really impresses, though, is look at him in the gold corner. He looks so fresh, doesn't he, Usmonov?
Yeah, his movements remaining pretty much as they were at the start of the contest, whereas there's been a real drop in the sharpness and economy of movements of Maxi Hughes. He's looking a little more laboured up there now, but as you pointed out, he is still in there competing, he is competing, he's still in there pitching. But you do get the sense that this contest has changed from that 6-round point, as evidenced by those pinging punches that he's able to snap in the direction of Maxi Hughes. But Maxi Hughes, will he get that phenomenon, that something of a mysterious boxing and athletic phenomenon of the second wind? Because he's going to need something, because the man in the other corner still appears almost as fresh as he did at the outset in terms of the sharpness with which he's able to put his punches together and move around the ring.
So into the 9th here. This is eliminated for the WBA lightweight title. Usmonov in the silver and blue, Maxi Hughes in the white. Hughes made a good start, banked some early rounds from the midway stage onwards. Usmonov has dominated, but Hughes now just looking to try and turn the tide. He's got to try and get a foothold here, because he'll know that the last few rounds have gone against him. Good right hand on the inside there, though. Usmonov just timed the uppercut really well. Caught Hughes as he was coming forward, but you could see at the start of the round what his intentions are here, Hughes. And sometimes you can drag that extra inspiration out of yourself. He's swinging with the left hand. Usmonov with that kind of whipcord-like strength to him. And he must just have some quite nice, naturally heavy hands, because he doesn't exactly load up, does he? On the inside there, again, just chipping away. Good right hand, though. Short right hand. Just rocks that head back. And again, he just sticks the shoulder in there, Usmonov. Right into the body.
Shake, Maxi, shake!
Trying to dig that left hand to the body there, Hughes. Dipping at the waist quite often now as he comes in, and Usmonov trying to time that uppercut. Heading into the final minute of round 9. Good left hand there from Hughes. Good shot, but in reality, Usmonov there just walked through that right hand into the body from the man from Tajikistan. And he's worked really hard in this round, Hughes, to try and just get himself back onto an even keel, to see if he could just stem the tide a little bit here.
That's there, Max, lead hand up. Composure. Have a good finish, Max, here.
Swings with the left hand onto the shoulder. Bit of blood coming out of the end of the nose there of Usmonov.
Respond. Max, here. That's better. Guard.
Well, the bell goes, and that was a better round for Maxi Hughes, but you still feel like it's an Usmonov round. And one moment there towards the end of the round when he just hit him perfectly with a lovely straight left hand, and Usmonov just gobbled it up and kept coming.
Yeah, at this point of the contest, Maxi Hughes still in there competing and had a decent round, but you're left with the impression that he's going at full throttle, and Usmonov appears just have a little more in reserve and a little more sharpness to his work. But Maxi Hughes still in there looking to compete with everything that he has, but I think it's Usmonov who's continuing to maintain his superiority since that he established in the 6th round. So is there going to be another twist as we enter the championship round? Well, it's round 10 coming up, but as we enter this final stretch of the final 3 rounds, can Maxi Hughes rally and do something to turn the tide back in his favor? We do get undulating contests, but since the midpoint in round 6, it has been Usmonov who has been on top for my money.
So 3 rounds to go. The tape is almost in sight here, and that can do things to fighters. He did grind himself in that last round, Hughes, just looking, as I say, just to set that back foot, just stop the slide, basically. Looking to fire back with the left hand there, Hughes. And again, just starting nice and crisply here, but he needs to be able to sustain it. Usmonov, again, just looking to get tight. That's better with the hands there from Hughes. Firing off the lead hand there, Hughes, and then decent movement of the head. And he does seem to have found a little bit more energy in this round, actually. A minute gone in round 10, and there's the body attack, though, from Usmonov. And the right hand just catching Hughes as he tries to slide across the ropes away to his left.
Put them together, Max! Under Max!
Left hand to the body again there from Usmonov. A right hand up top. A right hand again from Usmonov. Lead hand from Hughes, and the trainer to my right just telling Maxi Hughes that he's got to respond. He's got to provide a response every single time Usmonov fires, and he's completely right, because although he's been moving his feet better in this round, and he's been a more difficult target to find, and he's letting those hands go when he can. Usmonov is still the one with the volume. Good 1-2 there, though, from Hughes. Into the final minute of round 10.
Yes! Stay small, Max, don't stand up.
Combination there from Usmonov. It'd be interesting to know what the conversation in the Usmonov corner is, because when we get to the conclusion of round 10, it depends how you've scored those first 5 rounds, but the way I looked at them, I couldn't see any reason not to give them to Hughes, and then since then it's been in Usmonov's favour. They might be seeing things slightly differently, but you'd imagine you've got to send your man out to put his stamp on this and close this out in fashion, because I wouldn't say he's taken a round off here, Usmonov, exactly, and Hughes has kept him honest, if you like. But I feel like we maybe need to see more from the home fighter in these final 2 rounds.
It's going to be very interesting indeed, and remember, they represent uncharted territory for Usmonov, and the spirit and desire and the pressure to think while fatigued from Maxi Hughes, well, that's where all that previous championship experience, former British champion, is coming to the fore, because his energy level has been taxed. Of course, it's a grueling contest, but he is still in there competing, keeping Usmonov honest. Usmonov still bringing about a noticeable effect when he goes down to the body, but he's answering on just about every occasion is Maxi Hughes, and Bakhodur Usmonov knows that he is in a contest here. Now, who is wearing better as we go into the championship round? I happen to think it's the man in the gold corner, but Maxi Hughes continuing to have effective pockets of rounds of his own.
But as you say, though, Hughes has done this many more times. He knows how to dig in. He knows how to drag something out of himself for a final 2 rounds when he really, really needs it. Usmonov hasn't been there yet. He may feel fresher, but at the same time, the other person just isn't going to cooperate. You've got to go out there and get it. And you might be surprised by what he gets back from Hughes here in terms of pure resilience in this final couple of rounds. Just stepping in with a left hand to the body there, Hughes. Landing the lead right hand.
Don't be pushed back, Max. Don't be pushed back. Hey!
Left hand landed there from Hughes. And again on the inside. And he's just bitching up those hands a little bit more. Usmonov with the combination as he comes forward, as Hughes comes forward. But he turns around that front foot. Looking for that right hand.
Respond! Respond!
Straight right hand there from Usmonov did land.
That's it!
Left into the body, but just before that, a couple got through from Usmonov, who just isn't at quite such close range now as he was in round 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe. He's just backed off to that distance where he was in the first few rounds, and that's courtesy of Hughes doing some better work, I think. But if you're in Usmonov's corner, you've got to be telling him, surely, just close that gap back down again, get back up close again, because that's where he's done the most damage, those really short combinations on the inside. Long 1-2 there from Hughes.
I've been waiting, Max, to stand up.
Into the final minute of the round. 1 to go after this. Looking for that combination. Usmonov hasn't been as effective in this round. He's trying to fire with the left hand.
30 seconds, Max.
Goes to the body. He needs a good finish here, Hughes, as does Usmonov.
That's it.
Right hand got through there from Hughes. Final 10 seconds, and Usmonov again just looks to try and track him down. But what he's done well in this round, Maxi Hughes, is he's managed to push Usmonov back to the kind of range that we saw more in the first half of the fight. I don't think there was an awful lot in that round.
I thought that was a terrific response from Maxi Hughes, entering the championship round yet again. First time ever there for Usmonov. And it was Maxi Hughes who increased the sharpness of his movements. He did have successes, so too did Usmonov, but the dominance that he asserted from the second half of round 6 and managed to maintain up until maybe the end of round number 9, well, this was the type of exchange that we were witnessing. Maxi Hughes continuing to summon up his reserves of energy to make it a really competitive 11th round. And I think it's going to be intriguing now. I'm intrigued as to how the judges have it going into the 12th and final round, because I saw the first 5 rounds probably in favor of Maxi Hughes. Greater punch output, greater variety, more effectiveness. From around the midpoint of the 6th, Usmonov had a terrific spell, but then in the 11th, back and forth once again as Maxi Hughes was revived and refreshed.
No, agreed. I think this is close. I mean, it could all be on this final round. It's a fool's errand trying to work out or second guess how judges are scoring it, but it's in the balance here, this potentially, certainly. And he had a good round in that 11th round, and Usmonov, he has got to be of the mentality that he's got to go out there and get this in this final round, and I think he is, because he's just looking to walk him down to get a little bit closer. But Hughes almost swinging himself off his feet there as he lands a left hand, and he has just been able to find that bit extra, and that's what you get from someone who's done this as many times as he has. Somebody who's been in hard fights, who's faced adversity. They know how to do it, even when it looks like they probably can't. And if it were Usmonov, you'd be looking at him in round 7, 8, 9 and thinking, this guy's done. Maybe I'm even going to stop him, because you haven't come up against that kind of resilience over the 12-round format. And again, he's just looking for that lead right hand there, Hughes. A minute has already slipped by in this 12th and final round, and it's a pretty quiet crowd here, you have to say, in Dubai, watching this fighter from Tajikistan. Lets that right hand go, Usmonov, but doesn't quite manage to land it. And again, he's just stepping in and letting go from slightly further out than he has been before. When he had that great success in that spell, he was right up on top of Maxi Hughes. He was chipping away with what seemed like quite tippy-tappy combinations, but 3-4 punches landing, thrown very, very short within a matter of a few seconds. And Hughes has just managed to change the play. He's taken that away from him in the last couple of rounds. Usmonov continues to come forward, catches him with one uppercut there. And Hughes with a left hand to the body, jab to the head there from Usmonov into the final minute. Again, a good lead left hand there from Usmonov. Hughes with a left to the body, steps out of the corner, rolls off to his right hand side. Usmonov needs to try and find the big finish here, they both do. Right hand on the inside, and just because he doesn't really look like he's feeling it all that much, Usmonov, we don't know that he isn't. He must be, surely, in this his first 12-rounder. It's been a very competitive fight. And the trainer just trying to drag every last drop out of Maxi Hughes as we approach these final few seconds here. And these two just tangling on the inside, maybe time for just a couple more clean shots. The right hand got through there from Usmonov. Hughes looks to go down to the body with the left hand. Well, there goes the bell, a touch of gloves between the two, and he puffs out his cheeks there, Maxi Hughes, and you look at the reaction of the corners, and no one's going crazy, no one's celebrating at ringside. People don't look absolutely sure either, and as you laid out before the start of that final round, it was kind of a fight of two halves, and then maybe just comes down to those final 2 rounds. We don't know how the judges have scored it. Usmonov was on the front foot all the way through, but Hughes picked his punches well the first 5 rounds. I don't think it was rocket science to see that he was outlanding Usmonov, and then in the 6th he just changed it, got closer, and that changed the fight. But then Hughes managed to change it back for those final 2 rounds, and I wouldn't like to say which way this one will go.
Really intriguing contest over the championship course, and the manner in which Maxi Hughes appeared revived, dredging up something from the depths of his reserves, because he appeared to go through a really bad passage through 6, 7, 8 and 9, but then able to turn things around, and the distress that the body punches appeared to be inflicting on him, he got through that, bad patch. And in round 11 and 12 in particular, on occasion, he made a point of moving around the target and on a few instances pushing back the man from Tajikistan. So, really, really competitive affair. Remember, it's an eliminator for the WBA World Lightweight title. RMC's just stepped in between the ropes. What are those scorecards going to reveal?
Well, we will find out soon enough, and we were talking about it, weren't we? It's a journey, a 12-round fight. You have to plot your way through it. And it could well be the case with Usmonov when it turned in his favour, and it did, and it really did turn. Might have been thinking to himself, it's just only natural. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to win this fight. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. And you don't necessarily cater for the resilience and the experience of the other fighters, just to be able to just dig in and just somehow get it done, because they're used to having to try and do that. They're used to achieving that. Well, we'll see what the judges have got to say about it, but it was an absorbing fight to watch, actually. We're just waiting for the heavy metal to subside. I mean, I am a fan, but at the same time, Big Mo is ready.
It's not on my playlist.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards at ringside. Judge Guillermo Perez Pineda sees it 114 to 114. Judge Rafael Ramos sees it 116 to 112. And Judge Glenn Feldman sees it 115 to 113. Declaring your winner by majority decision, Bakhodur!
So Bakhodur Usmonov gets it, the drawn card. I could completely see that. The 115-13 to Usmonov. All that takes is for a judge to give him a bit more in the first 5 rounds than we did. The 116-112. I think is wide myself. It was a very competitive fight, and we're not going to sit here and claim that the way we see things is always right, but in a sense it wasn't that hard to score, was it? It really just came down to how you would score, I think, those final 2 rounds. And what you've got to take into account there is that he responded well, Hughes, and had the best rounds he'd had for a while. But are you then tempted into giving them to him because they were better than what you'd seen previously? And it's that kind of fine balance. So, as I said, the scorecards, they kind of make some sense, don't they? I think the 160-112 was a bit wide, the other 2, no issues.
Absolutely, couldn't agree with you more. As Mr. Al Siesta up in the ring, I think he's going to get the post-fight thoughts
I'm joined by our
of the
winner,
victor.
Bakhodur Usmonov. I'm also joined by the promoter for IBA.PRO, Mr. Albert Siesta, to translate. Bakhodur, I'll keep the first question easy for you. How do you feel, my friend?
Вопрос будет легкий, как ты себя сейчас чувствуешь, скажи.
Салам алейкум, мардам. Ака салам алейкум, мардам Тоҷикистон. Рости гап, шикаре ки ба ҳама маълум аст, чанд қаши Тоҷикистон дар бокс мекардам, ай Тоҷикистон намебромадам, камтарак қин шидад. Ай ҳамин ҳисоб камтарак бокс қин шидад мекардам, натонисти бокс карда, хай бахшиш. Дафи дигар иншаллоҳ ҳаракат мекунем ки хушрӯ бокс кунем.
A big weekend for the IBA. All these nations representing. You representing Tajikistan. You got to get a win on this big platform. Does that make you prideful to get the win here in Dubai?
Сегодня ты дрался за IBA на этой огромной платформе. Ты представлял Таджикистан. Ты горд, скажи, что одержал такую победу.
Раҳмат ба пешвои миллат, раҳмат ба раис шаҳри Душанбе Рустами Молӣ, раҳмат ба раис Федератсияи бокси Ҷумҳурии Тоҷикистон Комили Мирзоалӣ, раҳмат ба Федератсияи бокси байналмилалӣ Умар Назарович.
Now you just won an eliminator. We know. Oops, excuse me.
Бахадур Усмонов сейчас в данный момент обращается к Федерации бокса IBA, Федерации бокса Республики Таджикистан и говорит, это не первый, не последний мой бой, хотя я выступил сейчас немного ниже среднего, последующие бои будут лучше.
Ребята, по-моему, не ниже среднего, а очень круто выступил, нет? Давайте поддержим.
Final question for you, Bakhodur. The winner of an eliminator. That means now that you are looking at the title in your sights. Does that excite you to bring a title home to Tajikistan?
Ты выиграл элиминатор. Твой следующий бой за звание чемпиона мира. Только вдумайся, что есть шанс привести этот титул в Таджикистан.
Ман ҳаракат мекунам ки титула Тоҷикистон барам. Ваъда метавонам ки омад, иншаллоҳ титула мебарам Тоҷикистон.
Бахадур сейчас в данный момент пообещал, что я буду чемпионом мира.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your winner, Bakhodur Usmonov.
Thank you. Пойдемте. Иди.
I tried to stretch this all as I could.
Даже не вышли еще. Они даже еще не вышли.
Ladies and gentlemen, We are moving toward